Welcome to How-To With Howco, the podcast that connects you with Howco team members. I'm your podcast host, Bruce Hensley. In this episode, David Martin, Howco Equipment Sales Manager for the Southeast Territory, will share his insight and experience on how to get the most out of car wash trade shows. So how important is it for somebody to have a car wash operator, to have an elevator pitch, to really get their message and their needs across concisely and quickly?
It's very important because you're flipping the script to what you want to find out, not what the person in the booth is trying to pitch to you. So if you can eliminate a lot of the back and forth and just, hey, this is what I need for whatever the case is, it'll save you hours, throughout the show.
All right, how about beyond the floor, the sort of behind the scenes, beyond the booth, as we call it? So about meals and seminars and the roundtables and the panel discussions, the car wash tour, stuff that's not actually on the car wash floor, which they make it convenient because they'll open the car wash floor for hours to coincide with other things that you can go on a tour and you go to the educational sessions and the discussions.
All right, I'm going to get on my soapbox just for a hot second. I've noticed this a lot in the last few weeks. A lot of people are asking for free passes to the show. What they don't realize is if you're getting a free pass, you're getting the most basic thing to get you in the door. There's really not a lot of value in that. Spend the $250 to $300, get an all-access pass. That way you can go see the Innovation Corner the night before the show, see the latest and greatest before it even opens up to the public. Get into the dinners with some of these manufacturers. Get into the car wash tours like you talked about. There's two tours this year on Sunday. One is a tunnel-specific tour, and the other one is a self-serve in-bay automatic tour. So plan accordingly, spend wisely. If you need to knock down your hotel a little bit, and save that money for the other events, that's where you can get a lot of value.
And you mentioned cost. These things are expensive. You have to usually fly to get there and rent a hotel room and stay for several nights.
Absolutely.
You have entertainment and you have the cost of the show. So it's important that you get a return on that investment.
Yes.
And take these tidbits to heart. So how about the seminars and the round tables? And they've got everything from marketing to operations to every type of car wash, introduction of new technology. How valuable are those?
That's probably the most valuable thing, the whole part of the show. And that's why you need the all-access pass. These are usually 2 to 3 hours before the door opens for the show itself, and you can learn anything and everything from marketing to maintenance. How can you grow from one site to 10 sites? How can you go from 10 to 100? How can your social media presence, anything and everything category-wise, there's going to be a seminar for it. These people are the ones that have helped grow some of the biggest brands in the country. They've walked in your shoes. So learn from their experience, get up early, be there front row, listen, learn, and hopefully, if all goes well, you can replace these people in 10 or 15 or 20 years when you've built your brand, but you've got to start somewhere. So it's definitely well worth going to.
One of the tips you mentioned on the Howco blog was never eat alone.
Absolutely. Find somebody else to help pay for your breakfast, lunch, or dinner. There's always somebody that would love to get out of the booth, as much their boss probably doesn't want to hear that. But that's a way to connect with somebody, especially if they're local, and you can just guard down and just talk. Find out what the strengths are for the operator, the strengths are for the distributor, and how can you marry those strengths and help each other grow.
And lunchtime usually is on the floor. It's usually some sandwiches and soft drinks and stuff. But I've seen lots of serious business meetings at breakfast venues and certainly at dinner.
Absolutely.
At restaurants.
Yep. And Nashville's a great town for it. There's a couple of great barbecue spots within walking distance. So, kind of hit that lull. I like to time it to where it's after, a lot of people have gone to lunch and they're starting to come back, and everybody's kind of comatose by then. You can talk to them a little bit, but then sneak out right after that, right around that 3 o'clock window, have your lunch, and then come back. And then usually that last hour or two of the show is when you can really, really connect with people because a lot of people have started to leave for the day, and then you got wide open booths.
Now, tell me about these car wash tours. How important is it that I get on a bus, leave the show, and travel, 30 minutes, maybe several miles to go see somebody else's car wash? Why do I want to do that?
It's very important because it gets you out of your normal routine. You could be in the same car wash every day for 5 years, and you just get used to what you get used to. So you don't see the small details that you're being overlooked because you don't see it as important. You go into some of these top tier manufacturer or top tier operators, you'll really notice the attention to detail is what sets them apart. And then also part of your plan on going to these shows, especially Nashville, if you're driving, do research on your route and try to hit some sites on the way. So we're leaving on Saturday from Charlotte, and I'm going to go an hour and a half out of the way to go to Bowling Green, or I might go to Atlanta instead of just going 40 all the way. Let's go to another town that I've never been to, and let's see what we can find, and might make a new contact and see where it goes.
See what the other guys are doing.
Absolutely.
You might learn something. Now, how about unplugging from home and work? I see people on their cell phones. I see them setting up with laptops. I know they've got business to do, but when you're at this show, you might as well unplug and get your money's worth and accomplish what you came to.
Absolutely. You got to have the right people in line back home to run your car wash, run your operation. That way you can focus on what you want to focus on. You don't need to know that a motor went down. You don't need to know that, just the smallest detail, somebody's late. Have your managers in place that know what they're doing, allow you to focus on what is at the show in front of you, and make the most out of your time.
As we all know, car washing is a big little industry. Everybody pretty much knows everybody, or they soon will. And it's, where long-term relationships are and shared knowledge, genuine competitive advantages. So trade shows are where those relationships are certainly built for the most part. And let your Howco representative hold your hand and take you around the show.
Absolutely.
Any parting words of wisdom regarding trade show tidbits?
Have fun. Be prepared for all types of weather. Sometimes, the weather can change in a heartbeat, and you're in a trade show for 8 hours. You walk outside and it's dropped 30 degrees. So do your homework. Enjoy the show. Comfortable shoes, goodies, powders, and try to take more from the show than you bring.
That's great stuff, Dave. Thank you again for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Bruce.
You've been listening to David Martin, Howco Equipment Sales Manager for the Southeast Territory, share his insight and experience on how to get the most out of car wash trade shows. This is How-To With Howco podcast, and we look forward to you joining us for subsequent episodes that help car washers plan, develop, and operate their business. For more information or to contact a Howco representative, please visit howco.com. We'll see you again soon for another episode of How-To With Howco.